Libra, welcome to your March 2018 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So in March, Libra, and by the way, I have re-recorded this because I forgot about your blue moon. How could I do a thing like that? And that's at the end of the month. But as the month begins, there is a full moon in your 12th house. And this makes me think, since you are having a full moon in your sign at the end of March, that something could be revealed to you, whether in a dream or simply you have a memory that was deeply embedded, buried within you. That can be 12th house stuff. You know, the subconscious mind is what the 12th house is all about, but past lives also. Something kind of gets unearthed and you put two and two together. This is why I am the way that I am. And that can lead you to knowing what changes you need to make. And at the end of the month, it's like you're done with certain things. And also, for some people, if you have any kind of addiction issues, the 12th house, full moon in the 12th house is a great way to let go of those. And they don't have to be just substance abuse issues. It could be a person. And with Libra, we know that sometimes a romantic partner is totally what we are talking about here, because sometimes Librans have drama in relationships that is connected to being in love with somebody who's not good for you, and you're able to put that person finally aside and realize that you may have a connection with them somehow. There may be like a past life karmic connection, but that doesn't mean that you have to deal with them. That perhaps they are not the kind of person that is adding to your life. So on the 6th of the month, both Mercury and Venus are going into your 7th house of partnership, which that was kind of what I was alluding to, because that's the house that you rule. So you're all like about partnership, Libra, and you have Mercury and Venus going into that particular house, which is the marriage house. It started out in the 6th house, coming from February. 6th house is the work, is very practical. It's also health. So you may be a lot more thinking about workplace matters coming into this month, and then it shifts to a romantic theme, more romantic theme. But it's also possible that this is work-related, because the 7th house can be any kind of partnership. So if you are possibly transitioning from a job where you're working for somebody else to where you're working for yourself, and you have clients that you have to maintain, this could be really good for that, because Venus and Mercury both going into the 7th house means that your communications are really quite harmonious. And Librans have a knack for this just in general, just from the nature of their own sign, where they tend to present themselves in a very agreeable manner. But this can just add to that. And Venus also brings money with her. So you can profit from your grace and your ability to work well one-on-one with others. If you have some kind of marital issues, and I'm talking about if there's a sense of any kind of problems in your marriage, this can add harmony to your marriage, and you'll be talking things out. Also, if you're thinking about getting married, you may be talking about Mercury in the sector of commitment, Venus there on the same day. You may be like trying to find the wedding hall, or trying to find a baker to bake the cake. Who knows? And kind of researching and talking and feeling in love and all that good stuff. On the 17th, Mars goes into Capricorn, which is your 4th house of home and family. And actually, I want to talk about this because Mars will be in that third house until then, until the 17th. So the third house can be siblings, it can be cousins, and the fourth house can be your mother and just your family of origin in general, your past. And so again, going back to that full moon on the first of the month, there is possibly, if you're unearthing memories that were repressed or just coming to some aha moment about your past, you may be confronting people, which is very atypical for a Libra person. But if there was something egregious that you feel was done to you growing up, you may be saying, well, you did this, and there could be a lot of conflict between first with your siblings and then with your parents. And this can also, I have to say that this can involve a probate issue, because at the end of the month, Venus actually goes into, on the 31st, the same day as your full moon, the full moon in your sign, Venus goes into the 8th house, which deals with other people's money. So there could be some situation with an inheritance where you are kind of fighting with siblings, or with a parent, especially a mother, and you feel like you have to defend yourself for some reason. And, my take on all of that is it depends on, they have this saying, what hill do you want to die on? And basically, or do you want to die on that hill? Is this important enough to take it to that degree where there's a lot of conflict? Usually Librans shy away from conflict, but something may have come about, some secret, because the 12th house is also the house of secrets. So at the time of that full moon, you may find out something that just sets you totally on edge. I mean, gets you going, gets a bee in your bonnet, because you realize that somebody was keeping something from you, and now you're a little bit on the warpath. I would never say that 100% of the time that is unwarranted. So it depends on your particular situation, Libra. The Mars in the 4th house can also, this could be something totally different. This could be you renovating your house, maybe getting carpentry work done, or moving house, moving to a new location. Mars is very active, so there's some activity with home and family. On the same day that Mars goes into Capricorn, we have a new moon in the 6th house in Pisces, 26 degrees of Pisces. I should have said, the 6th house is also a house of health. So you may have been dealing with looking at your diet. Mercury rules that house, and you had Mercury in that sector. And Venus could be about wanting to look good. What Libra person doesn't want to look good? You already tend to have that, that tendency to look good in the first place. But if for some reason you have let yourself go, you may be on a mission for a makeover, maybe an extreme makeover. And now you have a new moon there. So it's maybe you're doing things in a very methodical way. The 6th house is all about a schedule. You may decide, I need a new daily schedule so that I can achieve these goals, health-wise, or work-wise, or both. So on the same day, on the 31st, the day that Venus goes into the 8th house, there is a blue moon which is a full moon in your sign, 10 degrees of Libra. So Libra, you end the month maybe wanting to kind of shed an old skin in some way. And this could have something to do with your family of origin. You may say, I've been carrying around a lot of crap about my past, and I'm done. And the 12th house may have kind of gotten the ball rolling, but now you are seeing things you need to do within yourself to, on your part, what you can do. Because, of course, things can happen to us, but we also choose how we allow ourselves to be impacted by those things. And I got a comment from somebody about my having said, which I do say pretty frequently, I guess, about Librans and being people pleasers. And I stand by that because all the 12 signs are archetypes. In other words, they're symbols for certain traits that belong to that sign. And the person who responded to me was basically saying, we're not just our sun sign or something to that effect. We're individuals and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that going on today where people are uncomfortable with pigeonholing. And no one should be, I think that there's some truth to that no one likes to be treated like somebody they have a line on you and they know exactly what you are, what you think. We call that stereotyping. However, in this context and with astrology books, there would be no astrology if all the signs were just like whatever they were. We wouldn't even have signs. We would just be like, okay, we're all individuals. End of story. So you have to be able to handle these archetypes. And if it doesn't fit for you, then it's all good. Then it's not meant for you. But one of the archetypes, or we can say the shadow aspects of the Libra archetype, is a tendency to seek harmony at all cost. And that tends to come back to haunt a Libra person because life is yin and yang. We have light and dark. Sometimes there is conflict that has to occur. All this stuff I was telling you about with your family and conflict, this may be stuff that you should have nipped in the bud years ago. Maybe you kind of did not address certain issues, and possibly things are just coming out in your own life because of certain stage that you're going through where you're beginning to put two and two together and realizing what happened to you when you were growing up. And in other cases, there's things that you should have said a long time ago, but you kind of like allowed your frustration to kind of come to a boiling point. And now it's just like spilling over. So, the more that a Libra person can understand that they're not going to make everybody love them, or like them, I should say, that sometimes people are not going to approve of them, and that's okay. You don't need everybody to approve of you, or that you don't have to be afraid if there are disagreements, that's a normal part of life, and it can be stimulating in conversation to have these different points of view. There's nothing to feel threatened about. That's just me talking in a general way about the sign of Libra. Mileage may vary for you. So I just wanted to end on that note because speaking of that blue moon, I was thinking about you, seeing things within you that you would like to change, and they may revolve around some of the things I just mentioned. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this, Libra. And if you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month of March. Bye.